Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see what we're gonna check today. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Welcome to our diversity show. Today I have with me here Mr. Goswell, and we are, as usual, going to talk about issues that affect our community, our party, our country, and see if we can have a solution to it, in an interactive way. So, without much ado, Mr. Goswell, can you say hello to our guests? Welcome back.
Oh, thank you very much. And Kejau, as I always said, it's always a pleasure to be on this radio. As you understand, I had some personal issues which prevailed over me not to be on radio for about 6 weeks. But now I'm back, and it's quite unfortunate. I'm back at the time of the month of Ramadan. So all the lovely ladies like the Oli Divas, the Jenaba, and others, and Fatima. And by the way, congratulations, Fatima, on your matrimonial union, and I wish you all the best. Apart from that, the others, I wish them all well. I mean, I haven't heard from Auntie Ramzia. I hope she's doing fine, and we get on. We get on whenever we have this program. We will make sure that we will connect with them so we can have a better audience as it is. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Goswell, Mr. Goswell. I think we have so many issues to cover today, but we can, and as usual, it's an interactive session. So we expect to answer questions. We have our guest joining us right now. What I think we will start today with the burning issue. I understand that you were on the Mamos TV and on the Gambia House platform yesterday, talking about the diaspora voting, and there are issues with that. I know there are so many concerns about the diaspora voting, and one of the concerns is that the constituency issue, that we don't have a constituency as the diaspora, and I think this is affecting not only the diaspora but even Gambians who live in the combos and they want to go to their houses, to back home to the provinces to vote for the in the constituency that they were born in, and this is probably a very big issue. Another issue is that some people have concerns that I think Ahmad Ba was talking about the diaspora, not the African diaspora, being they're like they're tough, they're like where they hope they can make a lot of votes. So do you think this is a genuine concern? Do you think the voters' concern is that these people will use this opportunity to give other people who are not Gambians our voters card to vote for them? What is your take on the diaspora voting, and can you answer these two concerns, please?
Well, first and foremost, point of correction, I was put on the flyer yesterday, but in view of other commitments, I couldn't participate. And having said so, my point is this: diaspora vote should be something unnegotiable, because we've contributed a lot, and it is our right, which we should not be denied. And I'm a bit disappointed that diaspora vote was not resolved 5 years ago or 4 years ago, when the political atmosphere wasn't toxic as it is now. And now anybody that wants to talk about the diaspora vote, there's somebody who thinks that, oh, that's his base. Oh, that person is a bit scared that place may be a poison chalice for them. Diaspora vote should be something that should have been resolved at the earliest opportunity. And it should have come into effect during the municipal elections. Why our MPs did not look into that is something which is puzzling. And now we have a problem now when we are at the mercy of the IEC, and the IEC will give us all sort of excuses just to deny us the right to vote. The logistics, the constituencies that they're going to build, they're going to create, is also an issue. Now, you could say maybe there should be 2 constituencies in Europe. You can say there could be 2 constituencies in what we call America, and you look at the other areas. But this is something which has to be looked into, wasn't looked into, and it's going to be a problem now. Because you need to look at the strategic location of the constituency. Europe, by all means, should have a constituency, at least 2. America, you're talking about 2 if you look at the population. It's all strategic. Because when you look at, when you do a constituency in Gambia, you always look at the strategic location and whether it can be a constituency. So you don't go and build up a constituency in a place like, say, New Zealand, and then with greatest respect, because it should be linked. Either you make sure that we have 1 constituency per continent, but it would be difficult, or 2 constituencies. And these are the things that they had to look into, and which they haven't done. What this government should have done at the earliest opportunity, they should have had a list of all Gambians that are in the diaspora. I know you wouldn't have all of them, but you'll have some of them, a good amount of them, so that you can determine where they should have a constituency. But at the moment now, it's more problematic because the way IEC are going to do it may not be in our interest. And there'll be a lot of gerrymandering, because I'm sure if they know that Europe is a fertile ground for UDP, government will go against it, thinking that they're favoring UDP. And the same thing applies for NPP as well. And this is why as I repeat before, saying that this should have been sorted a long time. We now have that problem where we just hope common sense prevails. So that's my take for that issue.
Okay, can you tilt your camera a little bit? I think you're pointing to the, yeah, okay, that's a lot better. Yeah. If you can do a little bit more so we can see your nice suit. Okay, yeah, okay, perfect, great. Oh, it's gone.
Don't worry, I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Is that okay? Is that all right? Is it okay?
Yeah, I think you are gone now. I can't see you anymore. Yeah. The video is gone. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, yeah, so coming back to, yeah, okay, you're back. Tilt a little bit. Yeah, I think I have to take that. Yeah, okay, that's great. Good. Thanks. Great.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the logistic is probably the issue here, Mr. Goswell. First of all, I think there's no problem for us in the diaspora to vote in the what's it called again, in the presidential elections, because then there are no constituencies involved. But then when it comes to things like the marble, I think that's where the problem lies. You know, do you think they should introduce the ballot paper? I know we have talked about this a number of times, but it's in the burning issue. And Mr. Coley, is it the new
Joe Coley, yes, yeah.
Number 2 IAC came out to say that they are not going to the diaspora is not going to be to vote. So do you think there's a problem? And should we be concerned? Should we take them to court, for instance?
I mean, this the Bibi Dabo judgment is already out there.
Yeah.
And what needs to happen is that judgment needs to be enforced. IEC have to be have to be told and have to make sure that they comply with the judgment. And that is the main issue. That's the primary objective there. Now the other bit is to say that they cannot use the marble system. Yes, but it doesn't stop you to think about using electronic means.
So why can they not use the marble system?
Well, the argument they're saying is, assuming there's one constituency where you have, well, say the Europe constituency, and you have 15 ballot boxes. You know, you have 15 candidates contesting for one constituency in Europe.
Yeah.
15 political parties. That means you need to have 15 ballot boxes.
Yeah.
That's the argument. Now, I am saying that on exceptional circumstances, we can do it electronically.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I'm saying this from experience. I mean, I don't know whether you were part of the struggle then, but this idea of a united opposition, coming together, what brought in what we call NAD, was through a petition, electronic petition.
Yeah, my idea.
Everybody did it that way, and I see no reason why we cannot use that mechanism as a way of voting. So if people say, oh, this, we say exceptionally, Gambians in the diaspora will vote electronically because they're not on the ground. You can't have 15 ballot boxes being transported over to London or Frankfurt or Atlanta for them to conduct an election.
And all of these locations will have to have ballot boxes.
Yes, but if you have an electronic device, it will be quicker, transparent, and simple.
Absolutely.
So I see no reason why that cannot be explored.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying that if we had used the local government elections in 2018, that would have been an ideal opportunity for us to understand, assess our electoral laws to see how effective they've been.
Yeah. Procedures, But I mean, I think there is still time for us to do it if they really want to.
Well, I mean, yes, there should be still time, because if I can remember, in 1996, when we were doing the electoral system, it was in the 11th hour we were able to extend the PIEC were able to have the electoral register done. Now, people might say, oh, it wasn't as fair as it is, but it was something. And in this case, they will have the goodwill of the foreign donors to assist us.
And
what I'm not seeing,
government to do the right thing.
what I'm not seeing is that they just don't want to push it to the limit. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can do it.
Yeah. Why do you think they don't want to do it? Do you think NPP has no chance in the diaspora? Is that why they are scared?
Well, you see, the problem is I don't want to be complacent and believe that. All I'm saying is that it's not only about MPP. It's about all of us. It's our right. And as I said earlier, this could have been sorted 3 years ago. Very simple. You come in, you win, you won the election, you put in motion for electoral reform straight away. And then that electoral reform will take you 1 year for you to look into it and pass the law. Look into all the problems that we've had. Make sure all the Gambians that are in the diaspora registered. Make sure all the constituencies have been, boundaries have been set up. Then we wouldn't have this problem today. So that's where the problem lies. That's where we and this, I have to say this with a heavy heart, political timidity contributed to this, because we all thought this was a so-called government that we all can support and believe in, and we left them to do what they wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Now, President Barrow knows where his strengths and weaknesses are, and he's using it to the maximum.
Absolutely. So you talked about the judgment of delivered on the issue of the diaspora thing about Bibi Dabo and the others. How does that affect? Do you think we really have a chance to vote this time?
Well, I mean, that's a judgment.
On logistics, the more I am
No,
really
but the
skeptical.
problem is we have a judgment there that needs to be enforced.
And what does the judgment say again about the election?
It says that Gambians have the right to vote in an election. Gambians also, Gambians in the diaspora can take post in their party executive.
Yeah.
The problem before, you know. So what happens now is that it's open for all. It's a Supreme Court judgment. It's not been reviewed. In other words, it's binding. Enforce the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enforce the law.
Yeah, I hope that the IEC will not go back onto there.
Well, I mean, if we wait to hear from them because there's a judgment for it, and that's our trump card, you know. Yeah. Yes.
So I hope we can enforce that. There's no need to go to court then.
Yeah.
But then what about the concerns that the NPP will give illegal votes to?
Well, you see, the problem is it's more about whatever MPP are doing in the diaspora, they will do something worse than that on the ground. What we need to do, we have to make sure that we're extremely vigilant and make sure that the inter-party committee are well involved to make sure that there's no fraud or there's no irregularity with regards to the voting system.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what can UDP do though? What can UDP do to make sure that this doesn't happen? I think we can. There's a chance we can organize our people there to make sure they scrutinize, because IEC has to publish the register of the voters that are registered in time, so that our people can go on and make sure they understand. Because Gambia is a small country. Even if you go to a place like Southampton or London, everybody, you can't say you're going to register someone that no Gambian knows about. So we will all know each other. So I don't think that's going to be that's a viable excuse. I think the Ahmad Ba was just trying to scare the people.
Well, I mean, it's politicking. It's a period of politicking where people will say what they like. All they need to do is, I am saying this, that irrespective of whether you're UDP or NPP, Gambians in the diaspora should be given the opportunity to participate in the electoral process. Absolutely. That's my point. That's my point, which I will not abdicate from. We need to make sure that Gambians are given the right to vote, because what we contribute a lot in that country. I mean, we've done. This government won an election thanks to the support of the diasporans, and the diasporans never had a vote. You see, all the support that we gave them, they won an election. All the support that we continue to give them, we contribute a lot. Gambians in diaspora contribute a lot, and that's been well articulated in the last meeting that we had about the amount of money that comes into the government coffers and the investment that we're doing. And in all fairness, it's time that we have something. We don't just want to be the bread basket of the government to a certain degree. We do a lot of investment, and we want to take part in our political system.
Yeah, you're going on mute again. So I hope we will not settle for just being the bread basket. I mean, the remittance basket of Gambia. I hope we can enforce our rights this time, and the logistic is there. They can use electronics. They can use ballot box. I mean, paper elections, and even the ballot box. If the push comes to crunch, if they really have the goodwill, it doesn't have to be like every state will have to have like Gambians in UK can all go to London, but they have to start registering for us now. And
well, I mean, yes, registration is something we should have started a long time ago.
Yeah, but registration has started in the country right now. That one was late. Even in the country, they're going to start, I think, next month. So,
yes.
Yeah, so hopefully there will be time. We still have about 8 months to go. So we can still put it in what's it called again, a bid for electronic voting or even paper balloting, and people will come up and vote on. So you shouldn't be concerned about this, and I hope um, when the National Assembly invites the vice chairman, I think that's what they're trying to do, in to talk. I hope they are going to ask these questions about the diaspora voting, and I hope there is ample will from the IAC to let us vote. So yeah, if we move on a little bit to other issues that are affecting our country and our party, what do you say about the cannabis allegations and how the police handle it? With the vehicle, the UDP vehicle. What do you understand about it?
Well, as an officer of the court, I tend not to give comments on these because the things are still under investigation.
No, I think the case was finished. The guy was
Yeah, but hang on. But what I have to say is this: I believe the UDP vehicle is still impounded.
Yeah, probably. And I'm not sure about that detail.
And I'm not sure whether the vehicle has been surrendered back to UDP. Number two, all we know is they've gone for the easy charges so far.
Okay.
Charged him and he pleaded guilty or he got convicted.
Yeah.
And he paid the fine. Yeah. Now what we need to do is, sorry?
You think more charges will come?
Well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
I mean, wait and see, because this is the political campaign time.
Yeah.
There's a danger that he could be even asked to go publicly and even make unfounded allegation, just to implicate UDP.
Yeah, I hope the police will not go to that.
Well, I mean, this is campaign time. Yeah. And they will do anything to win votes. Yeah. And it's our responsibility to be extremely vigilant. And we should not be giving out information unless we are certain that the information is correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I understand is that this was just an incident that could have been easily resolved, but they've made it a police matter. We wait for the police to come and give us their report as to whether they're going to pursue any more charges against Mr. Jabang, and if not, whether they're going to apologize to the UDP for trying to incriminate them in a petty crime involving possession of cannabis. From what I understand, it was not trafficking, it was just a mere possession case.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. But then the information that we received about the lady, I think she called herself Aissatou Cisse.
Yeah.
I found out that that was not her real name. And she's alleging that there were bags of cannabis. I don't understand that part. And I think from the party leader, the conference they held, it was that it was mere seeds of cannabis. So I don't know what.
I mean, as I said, this is election time when people will do anything just to implicate people.
Yeah.
What Mr. Dabo said is really true. So what happens, what we should be mindful of, our executive members or those who are within the hierarchy of UDP, to be very mindful of their movements. Because we have the case of Yakuba Jaite, we have the case of Yakuba Jaite, who is an executive member. We have the case of Yanks Dabo in the 3 years Jotna and the so-called sedition charge. So they help them to do anything to incriminate UDP. So we should be at the best of our behavior. We should be whiter than white.
Yeah.
We are not implicated in any dubious activities.
Yeah, but how do you think those things will affect the party? I think the party is bigger than individuals.
Well, yes, but Kejau, they say there's this famous quote: prevention is better than cure. We don't have to start, and then we start doing this thing and then start expecting a rebuttal and start having to have press conference of which Mr. Dabo has to officiate or preside over, when we could have taken the necessary measures, which he said, which is already mentioned the case of they're trying to incriminate some of the firebrands that are involved in the party, like the Sabalis and all that stuff. One has to be extremely careful.
But what measures can we take? I am a security personnel. I know if the police want to incriminate you, there's very little measure you can take.
Be mindful of your movements. Be mindful of your movements and how you travel and what you do. What you're doing, just take extra care, extra security measures. Be security vigilant so that you're not implicated. You know, if you're not vigilant enough, then you are likely to be a threat.
No, I mean people like Yankuba, what's he called again? Yankuba Dabo could be careful. I mean, and watch what he's trying to tell, what he was trying to say, even if he's angry, you know. But in this things like this cannabis case, you can't tell the people don't take your vehicle and leave it at the fitter garage. Or, I mean, at the mechanics, you know. And I'm not sure whether there's much we can do about that. You know, in this kind of things, I think the police should be more professional and handle this in a professional manner, because you know the unnecessary, or maybe we should have just done like it's done with the Keksane case and just go mute.
Well, I don't think going mute will help. I think what we should do is to make sure that we urge our firebrands to be very mindful of their behavior in public. You know, if they know that you're vulnerable, then they will easily incriminate you. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I beg your pardon. I think my computer has just gone on me now. Yeah, okay, it's back. Okay. Yeah, I think yeah. So yeah, I mean the firebrands can be like Yankuba Dabo can be told to calm down, and I hope you know he calms down his rhetoric. But I mean it cannot affect the whole party, and the fact that the UDP leader is saying that they may try to incriminate some members or the firebrands, as you say, like Sabali. You know, I think those are just scare tactics that the police are trying to employ on our members, so that we can be extra careful. And being extra careful in a democracy, you know, not going about your business as usual, not going about talking to the people you need, you know, might hinder us in the long run. So I think it's a matter of engaging the police, because in the police service we have people who are sympathetic to UDP. So you know, we need to engage the national the NIA, and let them understand that if they try to be otherwise you know, difficult with the UDP is the government in waiting, and when we come next year, we are going to prosecute them. We have to start sending these messages, these stern messages to them, so that they can watch out and understand that we are the government in waiting. And when they try to prosecute us, when we come into government, we are going to go after them one at a time. It's not going to be another commission we're going to set up. We're going to prosecute them. You know, so these are the messages that we need to send, that we're not going to be scared in our own country again. This was our victory. You know, we as the largest party fought this, you know, everybody did their part, but UDP suffered more than any other party, you know, and therefore we will not be threatened, we will not be cowed, you know, we will not, you know, be very careful about being you know, what's the term again? Being incriminated into these issues. So yeah, so we have to send those messages loud and clear, and it starts now. We have to send it to the police, you know, send it to the social media campaign, tell them that, you know, UDP will not be cowed, we are not going to be afraid, we're not going to be intimidated, and we are going to go about our business as usual and go around and get more votes get more, voters into our camp as we are doing right now. I think Sabali, someone like Sabali, is doing a great job, and he shouldn't be scared at all. Yeah, okay. So yeah, moving on. I think this is going to be probably an hour or so because I have Ramadan to break.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I understand that. I will not expect you to go longer than the period that we had, but we're just coming back. So maybe next week we'll start earlier and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then I think we probably have two weekends. I mean, one more weekend, and then the next one will be will Ramadan will be over. So yeah, it's not going to. So the third part, the third issue I want to talk about is the high cost of living in the country. The Ramadan has exposed the fact that the cost of living. I know the fourth one, the fourth issue we can talk about quickly, whichever way you want it, is the giving of the half day to the Muslim women to go home instead of giving it to everybody. I think the and those were touching issues that we don't want to be surfacing in our republic, in our democracy, in our nation, because as I think that's probably very important. We can touch on that one now and then go to the next issue of high prices. So because Gambia is known for of support of tolerance into religion. Muslims and Christians, we've lived together for centuries, and we continue to intermarry, to enjoy each other's company. We tend to invite our Christian brothers and sisters for our festivities, and they do the same. And I think this is so unique to Gambia and Senegal that we need to continue celebrating this. And we shouldn't let any government try to jeopardize this relationship. So you as a Christian brother, can you tell us? And this is the diversity show. So we want us. What can the UDP government do to make sure that these kind of things don't happen? And even this present government, what should they have they not done to make sure that Christians don't feel discriminated against in our country? Because when people are complaining about it, what they're trying to say is that the Christians didn't ask for it. I mean, should you wait for someone to ask for this, Mr. Goswell?
Let me say this point that I am speaking from a background where I grew up right next door to a mosque, and my friends that I call friends, 90% of them are Muslims. However, I'm not been ever told that I should abdicate or leave my religion to come and join someone else's religion. Instead, we've had this mutual understanding and respect for each other. So I celebrate Eid with them. They celebrate Christmas with me. We get on. The dividing line is when we have to go to church or when they have to go to mosque. That's when we have problems. So when we have to play football, they have to go do their dara first before this. So I've grown up in that society. What makes me really annoyed is the fact that a government that should not entertain discrimination is getting involved in religious matters. The Gambia is a country of religions. The Gambia is a godly society. We all believe in God. Most of us believe in God, excuse me. And what happens is the age is a very small portion of our population, if they are identified. So a situation like what happened in the Ramadan case is quite unfortunate, because Gambia has been a sovereign state for almost 55 years. Now 56, yeah? And it has never been a problem about Ramadan. People used to go, they fast, they never say to them, okay, 2 o'clock, you've got to leave. Now Adama Barrow came to power sometime in 2017. There was Ramadan in 2017. There was Ramadan in 2018. There was Ramadan in 2019. There was Ramadan in 2020. And there's Ramadan now in 2021. Now, why is it so important that this month, this year, you're going to say, right, Christians, Muslims have to leave early? Why? Now, my imagination is this is mere political tactics. And whilst doing it, it's also discriminatory because it says all female. So you cannot discriminate against a Christian. Likewise, you always patronizing to women. But you're not talking about them involved in the administrative affairs of their country, but you say them go home and cook for your husbands. That's where you look at it. Yeah. Now, so what I expect UDP to do with the assistance with the National Council for Civic Education to educate people about diversity and to make the people understand that religion is a personal issue. It's your relationship with God. It's not the government that should tell you you should go home and cook for your husband. I would be offended if it was given to Christians, say, oh, you go home because you have to go on the Station of the Cross during Lent. I'll be offended because it's nothing to do with you. It's our relationship with God. Time that these people understand that don't politicize the religion. Stay away from it. Let people live in harmony rather than having all this confusion that's going on. I understand the SIC, which is the Supreme Islamic Council. In their constitution, they say the president is the chief guest of honor, is the patron or whatever. Yes, that's an organization. That's their own organization. That has nothing to do with us. But having said so, there should be a limit because he did not say it's a patron of the government, patron of an individual. So these are the issues that we see all the time. Religion is something which I've always said is something that we can manage and get on with if we just take it as a personal crusade and don't go around start imposing, trying to condemn people. So these are where I'm saying that laws should be in place that will protect minority religious groups, protect.
I think those laws are already in place.
Well, yes, they say that, but it's not in place because I'll give you an example. Not long ago, a politician insulted a particular ethnic group, and everybody was talking about it. No, nothing happened. We need to have these laws in place that no religion is going to be, no blasphemous statements are going to be published. I mean, we need hate speech and all that stuff should be controlled, because the way we're going now is getting toxic as we go towards election. Look at the state of the Ahmadiyas. Look at the state of the Ahmadiyas, where UDP invited an Ahmadiyya imam to preside over the prayers, and it was a big issue about it.
Not a big issue. Some people complain. I think there's no need for that.
Well, there's no need.
Yeah, because the point is that if the Ahmadiyas think they are Muslims, then we have a Muslim cleric there. I mean, we can't call the Catholics and the bishops and all those people and the Protestants and all these people to bring their representative in. You know, if we do, then we can invite the Ahmadiyas as well.
But that's it. I mean,
one Muslim, you know. So why will we want to cause that controversy? I mean, and I think no law will probably prevent that because that's a private gathering. Yeah, I mean it can, but I think there are laws about this thing. But in this issue, in this instance, you know, what the people are saying is that oh God, I think my thing crashed. Window has crashed. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that in this instance, I think they're trying to blame. They're trying to find solutions to problems, social problems. You know what when I complain about this, what many people are telling me is the traffic. There is so much traffic jam in our country. You know, and if people leave work at 4 o'clock before they get to their houses, it gets to 7 o'clock. So I think these are the problems that we need to address, you know, and the underlying problems are almost always there. You know, now traffic is so much and
Kejau, are you what makes it worse is that you're assuming that every household it's the woman that cooks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's bad.
That's a big problem. You don't say you said every household is the woman that cooks.
Yeah.
And what about if this man is single and he goes home, he has to cook his dog and all that stuff.
Exactly.
I can't give it to you because you're not a female.
Woman, yeah. I think that's discriminatory. And what about the poor farmers in the field? They're saying they close a little bit early, but you know they work for themselves. What about people working in the private sector?
Yes.
You know, are you going to tell the private sector that they should close early? So that's why I said they should address the underlying issue here. And the underlying issue is the traffic jam that we experience in the country, unprecedented traffic jam. I understand they're trying to make roads for the IEC summit, and that is underway, and that is going to alleviate all these problems. But I think that the trend that we are going, even those roads will not solve the problem we have. You know, we have to sort our traffic problem out.
Well, it's not even traffic. It's that we haven't decentralized our country in such a way that everybody is going to walk to the capital. I mean, that's one of these things here. You know, a country like the Gambia, by now there should have been more decentralization, whereby you will be, instead of some working in the civil service, it doesn't mean that everything should be in Banjul.
Absolutely. That's the problem.
You look at an area like KMC, Western region, you can build offices there and all that stuff, then you cut down the migration of people coming over.
What about Nyamina, man?
I'll just give you an example. Well, Nyamina, I've got a proposal for Nyamina. Don't worry, we'll talk about that one next week. Yes.
I think they should move the Minister of Agriculture, for instance, to Nyamina, because we are the basket of the Gambia. You know, and you know, so I don't understand why.
And to say it most, people that work in the civil service, not all of them are working in Banjul, by the way. What departments do you have in Banjul? So you're saying that you cannot, if you finish at 4 o'clock, you can't get, if you're in Wakehall, KMC area, KUDC, KMC area, you cannot get to your place from 4 o'clock to reach your home around 6.
Yeah, that's what many people are saying, you know, and even in the I think it's the whole of the Combo St. Mary area, you know, including Banjul and even up to Brikama, you know. Apart from even if our area, you know, Brufut, you know, before you get away from that traffic, you have to leave that junction. You know,
well, thank God I'm a Canifil boy. So I remember when they did the what you call the highway, it only takes you 15 minutes from Banjul to Serakunda. I don't know whether it should be 15 minutes if you got a very good car. Yes. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I think those areas are okay, you know, when you went from Banjul to this place. But then the problem is the Senegambia area. You know, that's where the congestion lies. And I think to police those things right now is just to putting, you know, no stopping signs around the way, you know, and charging people for parking, you know, because that will produce revenue, and it will make people leave their vehicles at home, and we need transportation as well.
Yeah.
Of these problems. So yeah, we have so many social issues. So what about the high cost of living? You know, if we can treat that as the last topic, the high cost of living in our country, and that is causing so many problems. What do you think the UDP government can do?
Well, I mean, it's an issue that has been there ever since from time immemorial, and it depends on how we do our economics properly. I'm not an economics, but I'll try. I mean, one of the factors why they say there is high cost of living is because of the import duties and all that stuff that they pay. You understand? Certain stuff that you're sending people to bring in, and you expect them to pay a particular percentage, and that person wants his own profit back. So that affects the economy in such a way that if you, for instance, we also, when Ibrahim Madiba started selling bags of cement, he brought cement in, he said he's going to sell it for $309. And what happened is it brought the prices down. Now, we all remember when President Jammeh used to do it. But he used to do it for a political reason, not an economic reason.
And he doesn't pay tax anyway.
Well, that's it, So what you need to do is you need to look at some of the basic necessities that there should be a lenient form of taxation so that they can control their prices.
Yeah, but what about what the UDP is proposing, that we promote agriculture in our country?
Yes, I know that's another area we can focus on.
Yeah.
But what we do in that case is that we need to it's good talking, but we need to give them the incentives.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not really hard. I mean, if you take tractors and power tillers to Nyamina, and even if the government themselves involved in wholesale farming, they should be able to make sure that we don't import things like rice.
Well, I mean that's what one man did say when he did say within 6 months we'll stop importing rice.
Yeah.
And what happened is it was going to be 2016, but it never happened. We still had to do this. In fact, it was Vision 2016.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
About Chile.
Yeah. And then he came up with this thing saying that Vision 2020. None of these.
Every election he has vision something.
Yes.
But I think it's not really hard, because we have so much land in Yamina, for instance, to.
Well, we have more land in Jara, please.
Yeah, but I mean the farmland is more.
Yeah.
Yamina, even forget about Yamina, Nyani. Where Uncle Lucero Dawa comes from, because they are affected by the salt water. Even those affected by the salt water, they can cope if they have proper things in place. So it's a matter of the government investing in agriculture.
Well, I mean, I remember one person coming on for the People and by the People show, and that person was representing UDP, and she was talking about the zoning, whereby certain areas will do cotton, certain areas will do rice, certain areas will do this, so that we make our agriculture more productive. Yeah. At the moment, the productive base is weakened. Absolutely. Time and time you hear of Gambians cultivating their granules and sending them to Senegal. Yeah. Because there are no buyers.
They are buyers, but it's cheaper. Yeah. They get more money in Senegal than in Gambia.
And then secondly, time and time, this government will try to buy and then they give them a credit note.
Yeah.
And that makes it very difficult for them to survive.
Absolutely.
And you work so hard all the farming season, and when you end up, you don't get a profit. Mm-hmm. So there's no incentives there.
Yeah.
To make sure that people can take up farming. What this government should do, there should be some incentives in farming so that these people can get involved in large-scale agricultural production.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, or supporting the farmers. I mean, if you support the little farmers to, with mechanization, there is nothing that is going to prevent them from.
Oh yes. I mean, it's a shame government, when the agricultural system is normally politicized, they give you a tractor and they say, oh, but President Baromo, in the tractor be fee. These are things that they should stop doing, because a Gambian is a Gambian. And when it comes to serving his nation, it should not be politicized.
Yeah, I mean, and it's taxpayers' money. It's not
taxpayers' money. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's the big issue that we need to address. I mean, any agricultural equipment or products that they will give now is all under the disguise of politicking.
Yeah.
And that is very unfair.
Absolutely.
You know, you give somebody fertilizer, you don't give us. You take everything, you said, okay, I'm giving it to this local authority, this municipal council. Go around and dish out the fertilizers. I'm giving it to this other, go around and give it to everybody. They want tractors, leave it with the municipalities to deal with it. Don't politicize it. And that's our main problem. That's why we're not ready, we're not able to meet our targets.
Absolutely. And now Barrow is giving donkeys instead of power tillers and tractors. And he's talking about Internet of Things farming, smart
These are
gardening.
the things, you know, I mean, these are the things that you should don't politicize the agricultural sector.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, UDP has so much good plans for farmers. So
Well, I hope so. And I hope that, you know, they are very, very appealing to the people.
yeah.
But I also hope that when a UDP government comes, it will not politicize it.
No, definitely.
It was politicized under the Jammeh regime. It's politicized under the Barrow regime. And if UDP wins, it should be different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see somebody who's in Woolly just because he's a farmer and supports PDOIs being denied a tractor.
Absolutely. No, they should take it to the community level, not to individuals.
Yeah.
And they'll provide a market. It will be different. I mean, we all have to even go home and help them sort this thing out if necessary. You know what I mean? But it has to work. I mean, we have to make sure that next government of the UDP, you know, we put so much sacrifices, so much effort in place to make sure that food sufficiency insufficiency is a thing of the past, and bring the cost of living down, and make sure we have pests are controlled, that we bring technology into farming, and we help our poor farmers so that they
Don't
can
bring the internet though.
Yeah, even if the internet is possible. Yeah, we bring Internet of Things there, make sure that
and the problem is the problem in the agricultural system is that there's no incentive for the youth to take part in agriculture.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why we have to bring technology in so that the youth.
Well, yes, but the problem is the youth will migrate from the rural area to come to the urban area to take up other types of jobs.
Yeah.
Because they don't see the agricultural sector as lucrative.
Yeah, and
there's no incentives there.
Yeah, this diversification issue is probably a big thing to play, you know, because if the Minister of Agriculture is in Yamina, and then they take the Minister of what's it called again, of Interior to Jara. Hopefully Jara will also have so much, people who are working down there that there'll be no need for people to migrate to Combo, and everybody will be living there. You know, high cost of living, traffic jams, lot of problems. You know, so many problems there. Anyway, yeah, it's 8 o'clock now, and I think we have about 10-15 minutes to break our fast. Even though we live in UK and we don't have to rush home and prepare food and be giving off. I think it's important.
Well, so in other words, you can cook for yourself. Yeah. So you don't need, you cook for yourself, so you don't have to leave 2 o'clock to go and cook, yeah?
No, you can't imagine people doing that here. I mean,
okay.
When people are commuting, people are working from home now, and that's why we try to encourage Gambia government to do when the pandemic started. You know, they should start working from home. I think that's where the problem lies. You know, you have to find the root cause of these problems. You know, when we encourage so many departments to work from home, you diversify. You know, you move it to the provinces. So many things to the provinces. Gambia is a small country, you know, but we have space in the provinces. When everyone is migrating there, it's not going to. It's just going to affect us. So yeah, I think we can take leave here today. It's been almost an hour. I know the people are fasting and it's really, really hard. But, you know, we are grateful to our viewers for coming. We haven't seen any comments. I think it's I don't know, maybe tweet, what's it called again? Zoom is playing today, but the comments are really not visible from my place, and I've seen it's a little bit different from the normal Zoom that we usually enjoy. So I'll try and maybe the interface has changed. So, but I'll try and make sure I look into that, and hopefully we will bring more guests next week, or if not the week after, so that we can have more interactions. And some people are proposing that we need to speak the other languages as well.
Yes,
Dinka and Wolof, and because we're going to bring people here in who cannot speak, and our people, especially those in the diaspora, those in Scandinavia, in Germany, in Italy, they most of them have forgotten English. So I think that's where the challenge lies. So on that note, I say thank you very much to our listeners. I leave Joey say a few words to our listeners before we leave.
Oh, thank you very much. It's nice to be back, and we did start our program as normal, and we hope next week we will get more topics to discuss. We got to understand that we were
on mute. My computer is really playing.
been my fault,
Yeah.
but having said so, I'm always ever so grateful. Ever so grateful that Kejau has given me the opportunity to appear on this forum again. On that note, thank you very much. See you next week. Good night.
Good night. Thanks a lot, Mr. Goswell.
Thank
Thank you. Yeah, I think my computer is playing now. It doesn't want me to go away. I'll have to restart it and see if this is going to solve our problems. Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. So you could hear me. You probably can't see me though. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can employ some other tactics here. Okay, so I'm all by myself.
Okay then. Are we off now?